Hello, in this video I will explain how to edit data in a table. This part would be the part of editing data in a table, with Modal in React. From the React example CRUD. First we need the following. Import from React, useState, useEffect from React. Import from reactjs. Import from button, the modal, the form. And import from Bootstrap CSS. When we have this, and we also have the data to show, we go to the data editing part. One. We are going to create the const of our values for the table. For example, in the first case, we put the update ID value and then set update ID for the change. The use state would be empty. Then, we do the same with the other data in our table. In my case, they are name update, description update, code update. This would be what it would be with the form. Two. We create an arrow function, so that when clicking on Edit, in our table, it shows the respective data. Since as in this case it is a CRUD, it has a button to edit. We put a sync, and the ID. We create a cons, that would be response, would be equal to await, axios, and get to get the data. In this case that URL would show the data of that ID in JSON format. As a response, we close the const. And then we make the sets to change that we created in the first part. That is, it would be response data, and the name of the table, the set update ID, would be ID. Then we make the modal open, with set show form update. Three. We create a const to show the modal with the use state. And we create a cons to close the modal. Four. Then we create the arrow function with which we are going to update the data of the table. In this case, it is button update item, it is equal to async, e, and, we open braces, we write e, prevent default. And, then, await, axios. And, we update the data. In this case, there is a response in JSON format when updating. The update ID would be the one that the modal brings when opening. And, we make it change the values of the table. They would be, first the names of the table, then the names of those that we would use in the forms. Then, we make that at the end of this, it gives a response, that would be to close the modal. And, update the data. Then, we make that if it fails, it shows us the errors in the console. In the return, we go to the table. And, we are going to add a button, with an onClick, that is equal to button click update, to the value of the ID, of our table. Then, we create a modal for the update, with a show that is equal to show, form, update, to show. The hide button close form update, to hide. Then in the modal header we write close button, so that a button closes the modal. In the modal body, we are going to develop the form. In this case, in the input we are going to put the values, like we named them in the const, as well as the onChange. For example, in this case, the value is namUpdate, and the onChange would be setUpdate name, which would be for the changes. We do the same but with the other values of the form. Then, we create a button so that when you click on it, it activates the update. In this case, it is the button update element. And, we close. we create a modal footer, and we close it. And finally we close the modal.